Hello everyone and welcome back to another Umusme video. This is the Trackblazer guide. This took me a while because, I wanted to get a hang of the scenario, but now I'm pumping out SSs. I have a UG and I feel like I am kind of just doing consistently well for my account, the state of my account. So what I'm going to do here is just, talk about what I have, and then I'm going to go into card and deck recommendations for the scenario and why I'm recommending them. And then I'm going to do a quick items tier list, and then lastly I'm just going to do an intro to a career. I'm not going to do the full career. I'm going to play until about the end of the first year. So yeah, I guess let's just get right into it. So I have all these Zumas here. All of them are SS now on my team trials. There's a couple here like this one and this one that basically got fast learner and just have weaker stats, but a lot more skills that I kept on the team. And then this one, which is going to be going to CM. I'll talk about the decks and stuff later, but the important thing that I want to note here is that almost all of these Umas have around 35 wins. 35 I would say is my average in this scenario, which is like the main takeaway. Some have more, some have less. For example, the sprints are going to be harder to hit 35 on because they're sprints and they can't run as many. Even if they can run like mediums, I try to avoid it because I don't have stamina. But that's the point. It's like many of them, 35 is my average. So that's what you want to aim for. I don't count, obviously, in the career. But if you end your career and it's lower than 35, I would say like, you're probably doing something wrong. But that's enough of that. Let's go into the decks. So what I'm going to do first is just talk about the speed cards that I recommend. And I'm really only going to talk about the speed cards in depth because they're the most important card. Right away, I'm going to say, I'm sure your eyes are attached to this red line. And why is it here? It's because if you're going past this red line, you're in what I would call the danger zone. Is like cards past this line, they're lacking race bonus, which is what makes them like good in this scenario. We kind of need race bonus, but all the cards over here are down to 5. So yeah, but let's start at the top and then work our way back. I actually think Biko is one of the top 2 cards in this scenario, and there are multiple reasons for this. First of all, this is like the most important factor in my opinion of the game right now, besides race bonus, and it's only because of this scenario. But training effectiveness means that any stat they show up on, they're still giving this training effectiveness to. Doesn't matter where they show up. Race bonus is equally as important because in this scenario, you need 50% race bonus in your deck. I cannot stress this enough. If your deck doesn't have 50 race bonus, you are trolling. You're losing a ton of stats, your runs will be way less consistent, and you're being way more reliant on the RNG of your trainings. Because at the end of the day, the core of the scenario breaks down into you need your rainbows to stack while avoiding G1s, especially in summer, and you need your shop to give you good items. So without training effectiveness, you're relying on that even more. She also gives 35 initial speed, which is very important in this scenario because it helps you win early races. And then 30 initial gauge is actually quite high. I put much less of a prio on specialty prio now. The reason being, this percentage is not as large as you think. I think literally the difference between this and this is 5% tops. I'm not saying that's the exact number, but it is somewhere around there. So, if your runs are 5% more consistent, that's still better. Like, it's still better. I'm not saying it's not better. All I'm saying is, personally, I value training effectiveness way more now. Next up, we have NTR. Sorry, one last thing I forgot to mention about Biko is in her random events, she gives 45 energy total if you hit them, which is actually insane. Like, that's insane. Okay, I'm done talking about Biko. I have this card. It's why I'm so biased. But I cannot deny that these are also extremely good. Narita Top Road is probably the best card in this scenario because of the skills she gives. Firm Course Menace is a very good skill on tracks that can use it. She also has speed and power bonus once you get to 200k fans. Or, sorry, she has the training effectiveness once you get to 200k fans. It just means you don't have this power immediately like Biko, but it's not that important because at the beginning of the career, you're not actually gaining that much on this stat anyway. But she also has less friendship gauge. She has the same race bonus, Specialty priority is fine, whatever. But yeah, that's the thing, is like her skills are better than Biko's. Biko does not have skills to speak of. But NTR also does not have any initial speed, which is important, like I said. Next up here we have Matakane. I don't really need to explain why she's here. This alone makes your careers so much more consistent in the early game. 150 stats, boom, immediately is insane. It's going to make your runs way more consistent. I don't have much experience with this card though, which is why I can't talk too highly of it, because I don't know how consistently you can max speed with this card. She has no speed bonus, 10 training effectiveness is still good, but 0 prio. She does have this though, which none of these other cards have, which is not insignificant at all. Like this is probably equivalent to training effectiveness in my opinion, something like that. But it's hard to say how exactly good this card is, but she is good for sure. And then we move on to Old Reliable, Kita-san. I don't need to explain why she's good. Power bonus, training effectiveness. She doesn't give any initial speed though, which is again like why I actually think Biko is a bit better in this scenario. 35 initial gauge is very, very high, but only 5 race bonus, so you have to keep that in mind. And then we move on to like the sort of less known cards. Kawakami Princess is at 3 LB on purpose, because this is what I have her at, and this is the card I use as a secondary speed card when I'm training Kita-san. She has speed and power bonus, no training effectiveness though. However, she does have 45 initial speed. This is not insignificant at all. This is very, very good for early career. 15 gauge is not that much. And if she was at MLB, she'd have 10 race bonus. I still run her at this though. Like I said, I'm running this card when I run Kita-san, and I could run her in other situations too. She's still very, very good. Lastly here in the good card section, we have Sakura Bakshino. Again, like just a solid speed card. Training effectiveness, speed bonus. 20 initial speed is still some, so it's not bad. But 40 initial gauge, which is crazy. It means she gets to rainbows very quickly. And 10 race bonus. One thing you might ask is, why didn't you talk about hint levels? It's because you're not training that much in this scenario, so it kind of doesn't matter. Like it's in my opinion, it just doesn't matter in this scenario. Let's move on though. So once we get to here, we're talking about like budget options, but this card, Tosin Jordan, is actually still good. She has speed bonus, she has training effectiveness, and she gives 65 stats initially. This is not insignificant, guys. This is a very good card, actually. The only problem is this 5 race bonus. You must consider this when building your deck. Again, I can't stress it enough. 50 race bonus, guys. You must have 50 in your deck. Then I have a special beak here. Many of you probably don't have this because this was from the first event on the server. I don't know if you can ever get this card again, which is why I'm not going to stress too highly, but she's still good. 5 training effectiveness, 1 speed bonus, only a little initial gauge, but 10 race bonus, which is why she's viable here. And then lastly, Windy. I'm sure you've heard recommendations to use her a lot, and it's because she has the race bonus. She has initial gauge, she gives initial speed, she has speed bonus, a little bit of training effectiveness is better than 0. People will say to run her instead of Matsukane, and look, I'm going to be honest with you here, it's not the same, but it is a viable substitute. She's still good and runnable. But once you get past her, I would say I call this the danger zone, because yeah, we're pushing 5 race bonus cards, and at this point it's when you want to consider like borrowing a speed card, which is really not what you want to be doing. If you're in this situation, you are, I would say, heavily disadvantaged. Not because the speed cards are bad, but because you need to hit the race bonus elsewhere. These cards are still fine on their own. They still have some training effectiveness, some speed bonus. This card gives skill point bonus. They're still okay, but the race bonus is what matters here. And I'll talk about this in a little bit when I talk about decks at the end of this. So I'm going to go in game and I'm going to talk about decks in a little bit. So just wait for that. And then lastly, I'm just going to shout out some other SR cards that I think are good in general, specifically this power card, because she gives 15 race bonus. I actually use this card a lot, 20 initial power as well, and power bonus. The only thing is, well, what I've noticed is that it doesn't really matter when you're running one off card, so say for example in this long trading we're doing, if you're running one power or one stamina, you really want to click these in summer, because that's when your facility is maxed and it's when you're going to be able to get the most stats out of it in the least amount of clicks. You really look forward to that. Anyway, that card is exceptionally good. I use her in a bunch of my decks. And then we have this stamina card. Manhattan Cafe is still good. She has 10 race bonus. That's the thing with all these cards. They all have race bonus. They all actually have 25 initial gauge as well, which makes them consistent. They all have specialty prio. They're all just like not the best options, but solid SR options in order to reach your goals. The only thing is when you're doing this, you know what, I'll just talk about it when I talk about the decks, because it matters more in terms of sparks. And then these cards, I think like Sunday and Agnes are pretty much equivalent. The only reason I like to use Sunday more is because she just gives a bunch of guts, which is, this sounds dumb, but 30 guts, or sorry, is it 15? It's 5 and then 15, right? So she gives 20. That's not insignificant. 5 wit and guts, and then she gives 15. So 20 wit and guts is not insignificant at all. It's actually quite good. But if you run on Agnes, go ahead and do that. You know what? I should have had the event card here as well, because I actually think the event card is also quite good. I still have this pulled up. Let me just pull it out here. If you're going to run the event card, you just need to make sure to meet this active condition, which I don't much of the time, but this card is also quite good. Like 10 training effectiveness, 5 recovery. This card is good. Like absolutely this card is runnable. Just want to touch on that just for a short second there. Let's move on. So yeah, let's move on to sample decks. This is what I would consider like the meta deck, because it's many of the cards that are just the best in this scenario. Why? I have it circled here. Race bonus, it has 65. The 2 breakpoints are like, it's 50, and I think it's like 63, but for the sake of argument, let's just say 65. Those are where you get more stats from races. So that's why this is what I would consider like the meta deck. They have all pretty decent initial gauge. These initial stats are good. The only thing is I would still consider running Biko instead of Dorita, just because like Biko has been so good to me. Like she is insane, I'm telling you. But enough of that. This is the meta deck. All of them have training effectiveness. This is insane. All of them have bonus on what they want, except for Rico. But this Rico card, some of you are gonna ask, why are you still running Rico? It's because there are many turns I have where I can't race again. I've already raced 2 times or 3 times, and I don't want to race again. Or maybe I'm about to race a lot, and I can't race again. And the training is very lackluster, so I don't want to really kill the training either. Oftentimes, an alternative strategy is you just pop a 20 energy and then hit wit just to avoid resting. That's totally valid as well, but Rico lets you not do that. So you're saving your energy for other situations. This matters a lot, especially in cards, or in Umas that you want the stamina and guts for. When I start posting videos, you're going to see me use Rico a lot, because I love those turns where my training hasn't hit, I don't run a race, and I just hit Rico, and it's fine. It's just fine. You can obviously swap out Rico for something else, you know, like a power card here or some, I don't know, man, but I'm telling you guys, try Rico if you haven't. And then here I have my usual deck. This is the deck I ever run the most, especially for the long CM. You can swap out Creek for a power card and just run more stamina sparks, which is going to be something I talk about in a second here. But again, this is my deck right now. I only have 3 LB Rico and Fine Motion, and I'm still running Marvelous Sunday. I still think she's good. I tried to pull for Nice Nature. She would be here instead, but I don't have her at a high enough LB. So My deck here is still barely hitting 50 race bonus. If I wasn't, I'd find a way to make it happen. You know, I'd probably not run Key to Stand and run a card with higher race bonus instead. So let's move on from this, and now I'm just going to talk briefly about like what decks you want for, or deck options for different lengths. So in Sprint, I think it's quite obvious. I cut Rico from this deck specifically for a second, or for a third Wit card, because Wit is very easy to click. I just click it, man. You can kind of do whatever you want here though, like just change your sparks around. If you're looking for a Guts recommendation, I'm not going to touch on that because I think you really need some specific cards to make Guts work right now. Otherwise, it's just very inconsistent and it's just not worth doing for most players. But yeah, this Niche No Flower card, exceptionally good because of this race bonus. I'm running full power sparks when I train Sprint Umas. And I borrow Nice Nature. Yeah, it's just borrow one of these. You're good. When we move to Mile Medium, my deck is actually the same for both those distances. I just change up how many sparks I have in Power and Stamina. I'm still running Riku in Mile, and the reason is just because I just like using her. I hate having any turn I need to rest in this scenario. I just like hitting Rico better. That's the reality of it. So when I'm running Mile, I just put Rico in the deck, and then I run more Power Sparks instead of Stamina. I basically just don't run Stamina Sparks, or maybe like a little bit, but that's what I'd recommend. And then once you get to Medium, I still run the same deck, but I just run some Stamina Sparks and sack some Power. And the reason why is because these two Wit cards together are going to get you so much Wit. And Wit is so OP, man. I'm telling you, it will make your Umas run way more consistently. Just try it. Lastly, we go to Long, which is what I'm sure most of you are curious about, because we have the Long CM coming up. This is the deck I run the most. Alternatively, you can swap out Creek for a power card on Umas that have a gold skill inherited, and you're still going to get very close to capping stamina, but you have to run full Stamina Sparks for this to work. And I will show you that when I start my career in a bit. I'll touch on this again. So that's it for the cards. This is really all I have to say. If you have other questions, comment, whatever, ask your friends, ask whoever you want, just ask someone. But I encourage you to comment because I'll get back to you. Now let's do a brief items tier list. And I'll talk about why they are in each tier. So most of the things in S tier I probably don't need to explain. These stat books are just efficient. These are still efficient, but for example, if you need to sack some of these for something else, just do that. It's fine. Energy, buy on site. All these items in S tier are almost buy on site, pretty much, except for the ankles. It just depends what you're training. For example, if you're not clicking Guts, don't buy this. If you're not clicking Stamina, don't buy this, etc. Energies, again, it's just buy on site, man. I don't need to say anything more. Gold hammers are also buy on site. I'm just going to touch on this briefly. The difference between a UG UMA and SS is mostly actually skills. Where are you getting more skills from? It's from these hammers and racing more. So you just need to get lucky and be able to race more and still hit your stat line. That's why these hammers are both in S tier. You want to be hitting these, but specifically what I'll say is, if there was something here that I'm dropping more often than others, it would be this hammer. For example, if I am very low on money, I can easily not spam hammers. I just hold my hammers, make sure I have enough, and not buy the silver ones. And everything else here, I still buy. Yeah, that's it. I don't need to explain Whistle. We want rainbows, right? Like, just hit this in summer. If you have no rainbows, you have a better chance. We get a reroll. This, I don't need to explain. Boom, you ankle, you megaphone, you hit this, 0 energy training. Wow, so good. Boom, you're done. No, don't need to explain that. This one is the only one in S tier because something I've realized is that because we're training so little, this one has way more value than the others. I still think the other megaphone is good. This is the 50% or whatever. It's 40% at 3 turns. Yeah, 40% 3 turns. This one's the 70%. Buy this. Buy this, ankle, boom. You get a ton of stats if you hit your rainbow stacks. Even sometimes a single rainbow is good enough. It depends what you're at in the scenario. If you need more speed and you hit a single rainbow in Sunburr, just get the speed, man. Just get the speed. Lastly, ankles. I don't need to explain this. You really only want a couple stats to be hitting in your career besides wit, so just buy it. Just buy it, use it. In A tier, there's like nothing. We have this 40%, which is sometimes useful. I usually buy this at the beginning of my career for some early stats, and then barbecue, man. Like, get your bonds up for free. It's good. Try to evenly build your bonds. That's it. I'll touch on this again in the scenario when we do that in a second. That's it. Everything in this tier is good to buy. I'm not saying don't buy these on site. I'm saying if you have enough, you don't need to buy more, but you are still buying this all the time. Mood ups, OP, cure skin, OP, you can race some more. This, OP, anything bad happens, boom, pop out, sauce, you're good. And then I have a niche tier. I guess I'll talk about never bought first, just because it'll take less time. The never bought here, I've literally never bought any of these items, except for this in the last tier if I have extra money, like whatever. This is here because you should never be getting Slacker or whatever. This is the one you get for resting. You should never be getting this because you should never be resting, or very rarely. You should just never be getting this. If you have to buy this, your run's probably dead. Yeah, that's it. This one, 20%, it's just not worth it. I never buy it. I saw a lot of creators post this, but I just don't buy it. I think every other item here is better. I just don't buy it. And then we have the niche tier here, which is facility levels up, the energy, and fast learner. Facilities are very tough. What I mean by niche is this is basically if you have excess money, you can buy these. Specifically, if you feel like you're lacking on a stat, take that into account when you buy it. Or rather, that's when I would recommend considering buying it. But, for example, if your speed is already high for a point in your career, and you have extra money, I still probably would not buy the facility up. I still probably don't think it's worth it. It's just hard to tell when you need these. And then we have this energy drink. The reason it's here is because it gives you 5 energy. Occasionally, if I'm racing 3 times in a row, I'll just pop one of these if I can afford it, or if I have one, whatever, I picked one up, just pop it, you can race. Because as long as you're above 0, if you have 1, you're good. You are not going to get punished as often. Actually, let me just show that quickly. Actually, I can bring it up. We have this. This is for reference. If you don't have it, screenshot it, take it. I'm not going to explain it. I don't need to explain it. You get punished more when you're at 3 races. Boom. Okay, done. Move on. Fast learner is the last item here. I'm not going to say if you can buy this, your run is dead, because I actually bought this on a bunch of my Team Trials Umas from Miles and Sprint. It just ended up lining up. Like, I'm not going out of my way to buy this. It's just like, if it happens, I would buy this over a facility up almost all the time. Especially if it's discounted. But yeah, if you're unsure, just don't buy it. If you're not comfortable buying it, don't buy it yet. You know, it's going to take some experience. So that's it for the item tier list. Let's just go start the career, and this is going to wrap it up. So I hope to be done here in a few minutes. Let's just do this because I have it loaded. So this, if I was training her for CM, let's pretend I'm training her for CM. This is what I have been doing, is full stamina sparks, and because I'm running full stamina, because I am going to borrow... Where is it? The Vega card for Daring Strike. I want this skill. So I'm going to borrow this power card. And I'm going to run this. And you're going to say, How are you going to hit max stamina with this? Well, I do. I've trained many Umas. Actually, let me just show it. I've already trained many Umas that are at the cap. Because Gold Chip has an innate gold skill. This is the only reason. You need an innate gold skill if you're going to do this. Otherwise, you run Creek. You can try to run Rice Shower, but at that point, like, I don't know, man. Just run Creek. Yeah, I've already trained many Umas that are like this. It's very doable. Okay? Take my word for it. What is this event? Oh, okay. Sure. Anyway, let's go. Get the card. Let's go. Still want 2 wit cards, etc. I talked about the decks already. Let's just go. So, before the debut, I'm going to prio clicking wit and speed a lot. Like, a lot. Because I really want a higher speed to make my races early in the career more consistent. Because it's 1 in each here, I'm just going to hit wit. And really, these are the only 2 facilities I'm going to hit unless I have 4 bonds on a single training. Then I will consider hitting something else. Here, this turn sucks. This is a turn you do not want to see. I can click speed here. I can click stamina here for Rico. This is kind of just up to you. You can build your bonds evenly and click this here because she's the lowest. Me personally, I guess I'm just going to click this to get her up and to get my guts to 100. There's no good option there. That's a crappy turn. But I'm not going to recreation. I just don't do it in this scenario. Again here, our turn is not good, but we have a 3 here at least, and we can get Rico up. And power's not the worst, because we are going to click power a little bit. So there are a lot of things to keep track of because I'm running Rico in the deck as well. Keep that in mind. So you have 2 bonds on wit. We're just going to click wit. It's easy decision. Wow, we got the Biko event. Again, this is why I love this card. It's a lot of energy for free. This is clickable here, but we want the bond with Rico, and we like clicking wit, so we're going to click wit. And I believe they trained Rico. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have definitely seen Rico be dateable between 2 and 3 bars. I don't know when they made that change. I must have missed the patch notes, but it is 100% possible. I'm going to take wit here because we need to RNG our guts in this scenario, which is doable. This is exactly what we want to see. The reason why is we want more speed. If you're below 200 speed on the debut, you are not on pace for your speed goal. Just meaning like your early game speed goal. My goal personally is 300 speed by the first G1, and that's just based on my experience. I win more consistently once I've hit that. We're going to take Hanshin here because she's just for the CM, and it's a Hanshin course. Again here, I'm not going to do the full playthrough here. I'm just going to go until the first G1s. This is actually clickable. I'm going to click this because we get 4 bond here. Even though I think this bond's irrelevant at this point, I'll just take it because it's energy reduction anyway. This is a very rare run, by the way, where I have clicked not speed or wit twice. We're going to click wit here because it's easy to click. 2 bonds, still good. We're approaching quickly the debut race, which we want max energy for, because there are no races to do immediately after that. So we're just going to click wit again. And my speed is at 200, so I'm meeting my goal currently. I'm going to take power. And I'll probably just click wit here. Yeah, I'm just going to click wit here again. And I'm not max energy, but like, I'm close enough. Kind of doesn't matter here. We could take rainy days because we can just take rainy days, whatever. It's raining in the CM. You can take this sort of stats, doesn't matter. There we go. We got their energy from a random event. Nice. Okay. So last reminder here, I'm only going to play until the first G1s. Usually I just take the top option because it's more consistent, by the way. So the shop opens, and if there's a 40% here, I usually pick it up. This is not good enough for me to pick up though, and there's actually like nothing in the shop, so maybe I will pick it up. The only thing is I don't like this because it's kind of like nothing, and I'm not going to train 4 turns in a row here, almost certainly, so I'm still going to skip it even now. This is not a good click. This is not what you want to see, but we have no races. Something I can do here is just load my agenda. Do that as early as you remember to. I just remember to do it before here. I genuinely though, this is either option is fine. I'm just going to take the speed to get closer to my goal, especially if you're at 0. This event is good, by the way. I really don't have a schedule outside of this. What I do is, again, I still have no races here, so I'll just click speed to get closer to my goal of 300 before the race, the G1. I'm really hoping Rico will show up soon, by the way, so that I can just click Rico instead of resting, but I don't think it's going to come. I don't think it's going to happen. Just take the stamina, get closer to the stamina goal, which is max. I'll probably take the 9% chance here, because it's by far the best click. If you don't want to take this chance, just don't. I hit. So we should be racing soon here. That's the other thing, is like, because I have a B in mile on this inspiration, I'm going to take power here. Because I have a B in mile, I want like even more speed. We have nothing to click and we don't want to rest, so we will race. Yeah, I have a B in mile, so I want even more speed. But we have a rival race, prior rival races. Okay, this is just unlucky. I should be able to win this. You can also check your predictions, by the way, before the race starts. But I should be winning this. Yeah, I'm the #1 favorites. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you will just lose. It's just going to happen. Straightaway spurt on the first race is crazy. So we can actually race again because we have a sliver of energy. I mean, you can race at 0, it's fine, but like, you know, I don't like doing it. We still have nothing in the shop. I'm just going to pick up the juice and race. I think even though I have no rival here, I'm still just going to race. Because there's nothing to click here. And at this point in the career, I'm basically thinking if I'm not getting 40 stats from races, or from training, I just click race. Even if it's a guts, I don't really care about getting guts, so I probably won't. So yeah, I'm just gonna race. Again, you can check the predictions, but it says I'm a favorite. The only thing is at this point in the career, it doesn't really matter. You can get blocked very easily. Good items here. Side note, I had no rival there, and I still got items. Just be aware that can happen. So we have a choice here. I don't want to race because it would be the 3rd race in a row. There's also no rival, so it's not really worth the risk. We can rest. I don't love that option. We can charm and train, or we can juice and train. I don't really think there's a correct option here. It's just kind of vibes. And even past that, we can click wit or speed here. I think both are viable. I will probably click the speed. I will probably click juice and speed. That's what I'm gonna do because I want my Rico to come. I want her to appear. And it's probably placebo. It's just in my experience, if she's at 3 bars, it's still more often. It's like, dude, I don't know when this patch happened, but once you hit 3 bars, she has like, she almost appears instantly every time for me, almost every time. I would say like 8 times out of 10 at least. So again, we check here, we're not getting 40 stats. So we just race. We just race, bro. We just race. These are not that good, but I might pick some up because I have extra energy. I'm not going to make that decision now, though. Yeah, we're just going to race. Check the prediction if you want. A couple more turns here until I wrap up. We do have Rico available to us, so we're okay with bad trainings now. It's fine, we can just do Rico. Our speed is now at 300, so I'm happy. Again, we have nothing here, so we can just check the shop, make sure we don't forget anything, pick those items up, and we go race again, because there is no good training. And it is really just rinse and repeat. And I think for the sake of the video here, I'm going to show something. Well, it could just be RNG, but I'm going to train here. Yeah, so I'm going to click this. I'm not going to race here. I'm going to click this. I'm just going to take the risk, whatever, if I lose or whatever. Okay, I hit nice. By the way, you could not take that chance if you want, just Rico there. It's like totally fine. Like, just do whatever you want. Oh, this is a good event to showcase, actually. I actually still would take speed here because I want the early speed. Like, genuinely, you want this speed so much. If it happens later in the career, I take the skill points, but early in the career, I always take this. So here, I'm going to race 3 times in a row. Because on the last race of the year, you cannot be punished. You cannot get moved down, you cannot get skin outbreak, you can't even lose stats. So, chaining 3 or even 4 races into the end of the year is totally valid. You can do that. Even if we're at 0 energy, like we're going to be. I'm pretty much never skipping G1s, by the way. Like, even if I get double rainbows here, I'm almost never skipping it. Actually, this would be perfect if I could, oops, I meant to click the shop. Just pick up this. I'll pick one of these up because I have so much money. Also, G1, I have a silver hammer, just pop it. There's no reason to hold it. And we go. By the way, if I was low on speed here, once I hit G1, I cannot afford to lose this race. I'm still the favorite. This is just unlucky. But if you want it to be more consistent, just buy a couple skills. I could have bought straight away Spurt to make this even more guaranteed. You can always do that. Especially if you're not, like, if you are really not having fun and you're losing races randomly, just buy your skills. It's fine. Hopefully I hit 10 here so I can show something. I didn't, but because I had a sliver left, in situations where you're going to race a 3rd turn in a row, you can try to gamble that 10 energy since it makes no difference anyway if you miss or if you hit the 20, and then you can still have 1 for the next race. So check the shop, buy up these items, whatever. You can wait or whatever. I'm just buying it because I'm rich right now. And then even though it's 3rd turn in a row, it's the end of the year. Pop your hammer and just race. It's a G1, just race. Last thing I will do once we do this race is I'll go through my agenda and then I'll wrap up. So, New Year's starts here, and I guess while I'm just watching this, my next speed goal really is, I kind of just want to hit like 400 speed by the time I'm doing these G1s. That's like my next goal, and then the rest is just like vibes. Like, I don't know, man. I try to hit like 600 by the end of Summer 1, and then I don't really have a goal past that. It's just kind of vibes. It's genuinely just vibes. So just out of habit, I'm going to the shop. Buy this, buy this. I can buy one of these because I have a power card in my deck. Yeah, these shops have been very terrible, by the way. Pop this immediately, no reason not to. And I can't race again, but again, here, the pattern continues for the rest of the career. It's like this. I have no good training here. Here's a perfect example. I don't want to race. I don't want to train. I just hit Rico and I'm happy. Next turn, I will check the training. If I'm getting 40 stats, I click the training. If I'm not, I go race. That's it. That's it. For the rest of the career, that's it. This is the schedule I use the most on Umas that can run long, medium, and I force most into being able to run those through 2 aptitudes plus mile. This is the second year. Or sorry, this is the second year. The only one in the first year was like you saw Asahi Eye or whatever, Juvenile, and then Hopeful Stakes. This is second year. This is third year. We must take mile here because we want Japan Cup here for the Triple Crown in this year. And that's it, guys. That's it. I'm going to wrap up here. Nothing else to say. Last reminder, I check the training. If I see 40 stats, I click it. Here, I could click it because it's 3 bond. Like, I'm not 100% going to do this every turn. I don't have a rivalry, so in this scenario, I would still just click this. If I fail, whatever. If not, I get the bond. Terrific. But that's it. It's just rinse and repeat. If you have 40 stats, you train. If not, go race. That's it. Pop your hammers on the G1s. Even here, I skip this. I go race. That's it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any question about anything, the decks, cards, races, playing out the scenario on different aptitudes, whatever, force your Uma to be able to run. Mile, medium, long, you're going to have the most success that way. That's it. Leave questions, comments, anything, let me know what I can do better for you guys. Anything you want to see, any Umas specifically that I own, I will show. And that's it. Have a great day, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.